Hello and good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to play as the last true Crusaders in EU5. Today we're going to play the Teutons, starting at war with Lithuania. We're in a pretty tight fiscal spot off the bat, so we'll have to walk the tightrope between our kind of Crusader fervor and the fiscal reality of it all. First order of business is going to be winning this war against the Grand Duchy of Lithuania and Poland if they join. And then we will look a bit further at possibly some grander ambitions out east. So first things first, set up the country. We have the military order government reform with a lot of levy combat ability, blocked from conversion, clergy commanders, not that many privileges actually given to the nobility. You will take agricultural cultivation. We will, of course, take control of the borderlands. Proximity speed through lands is fantastic. Primacy of the nobility. Expansion of zealotry. Land of commerce. Treasury rights. And urban development grants. Free mobility of the common people. We start in the Riga market, although presumably we could set Danzig up as one. We start with roughly half of the country uncored. That's a little bit interesting. Start by integrating Danzig and Tukula. Tax the nobles, the burghers, the commoners. Don't bother taxing the tribesmen. We start quite deep in the hole, but we might just run a deficit until we win this war against Lithuania. Our primary culture is Prussian. We tolerate Kashubian, and everything else we discriminate against quite aggressively, which means most of our lands are not integrated at all, or not cored, just integrated. Which is definitely interesting. We do have the option for Crusader Knights. Now, with the patch that just reduced how powerful professionals are against levies, this is going to get a bit interesting, but we will do our best here. And this war is to take Vilnius, the first crusade against Lithuania. Fantastic. We start with way over Diplo cap. The alliance with Bohemia is eating up most of that. We're going to hold on to that for as long as we can, hopefully. And without further ado, I guess let's get right into this war. Lithuania, off the bat, seems like they outnumber us quite handsomely. So we'll have to win it on a more tactical level. Due to our inability to actually integrate a lot of these lanes, our control is going to suffer, I imagine. Yet it's going down to only being 12% on some of the fringes, 40%. So we will have to do our best to consolidate and do some hard choices about culture if we want to embrace them or if we want to do some cultural erasure. We'll take our first battle here against the Lithuanians, and it is bloody, and we are losing. Our centers collapse, so we'll retreat. Not off to a fantastic start. We'll march out again, see if we can take them. Tell you what, based on where the numbers are in the starting war and how poorly that opening battle went, well, it's just if Poland joins, I lose so hard. I'm debating if I should white piece out of this and come back. Consolidate a bit of my power. Just if Poland gets involved at all, it's incredibly difficult for me to. We're bleeding money. If my professionals were just a little bit tougher, but no, I think it's in my best interest just to white piece out of this. We'll lick our wounds, integrate some of our land, make some of it an accepted culture. We still have our Bohemian alliance. If we can keep that going, we can almost certainly hit many people over the head with a big stick. We'll actually keep our Diplo spending up in an attempt to keep the Livonian Order happy, because they are certainly one of the more powerful of our vassals. And let's see what we can do to stabilize the court. Obviously, we're spending a lot on devotion. There's really not too much we can cut here without stealing some crucial border forts. Still, we might have to. We'll get rid of the fort in CRUSADERS, as well as the fort in Osterode and Intensburg. No, that really doesn't solve our money problems. We're going to, again, continue to try and... Oh, no. Okay, Bohemia has broken that alliance. Not exactly where I want to be. Let's go for another alliance, a new alliance with Magdeburg. Alrighty, we're going to start improving relations with some of our subjects. As I just saw, there isn't a 10-year timer. So if we can improve relations with them, we should be able to start eating them right away, even with the Livonian Order. So if we just make them nice and happy, we'll get hopefully another front to push into Lithuania on. We will have to see if we can solve this Poland issue, because Poland-Lithuania tag teaming me is very aggressively painful. Alrighty, just to stop losing money, we're going to do some quite aggressive minting in the short term, just until we get the devotion under control. Then we'll lighten up on it just a little bit. We have some quite powerful RGOs with the amber on the Baltic coast, some dye, some wool, some alum, which are good for building an economy, access to lumber. But of course, we also have our fair share of the remarkably average ones like wheat, fish, of course, everybody's favorite, and a bit of fur. Since the war with the Grand Duchy of Lithuania ended a bit sooner than I expected to, the goal of this campaign is in 2 steps. I very much want to stay as the Teutonic Order, the Crusading Order. The first goal, of course, will be to remove the last pagan blight from Europe and clean up Removin, and destroy the Duchy of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania in total. And then I would also like to push further into Russia and do my best to expel the Eastern Orthodox Church and bring in Catholicism into Eastern Europe proper, and of course bring it all under the good Church of Rome. So that's a 2-step here. We'll see how far we can get into it. It depends how much Poland wants to break my back, but we will do the best we can. Just getting Marian Werder over the line, so we'll be able to start annexing them right away. That'll go very quickly because they're so small. And we'll start working on the next set of vassals. We just got an event to pop here, the Judgment of 1339. So the event just is saying here that Poland has spoken with the papal state, or with the Pope, and is trying to take back presumably all of this uncored land that we have. We can either leave it up to the Pope, we can give the land back to Poland, or not cede them anything. Just because it's the historical option, I'm going to say this is preposterous and will appeal to the Pope immediately. And if this gives away half my country, oh boy, I hope it doesn't. We get a slap on the wrist with a little bit of prestige, minus 20 prestige, minus 15 prestige, which fantastic EU5, and go further towards conciliatory. Or we could just tell Poland to go and suck it. I'd rather not feel the wrath of 15,000 Poles, plus the Hungarians, plus the Lithuanians. Of course, we're already taking loans. Fantastic. Alrighty, so our order is off to an imperfect start. We're 43 ducats in the hole, losing 2 ducats a turn. Hopefully, by annexing some of our subjects, we'll be able to recover a bit of value. I'm not going to lie, at the moment we're kind of in a sketchy position, losing 4 ducats a month 260 ducats in debt. It's not the greatest opening I've ever had. I'm not going to lie. We only have a limit of 4 more loans. And if I pull back on any of my diplomatic spending, my vassals become disloyal. So it's certainly a unique start as the Teutons. It's just something about these starts with no money that really gets me going, you know? Hopefully once we're able to get Danzig integrated, we'll actually be able to push even more control there and use the city to its fullest potential. Alrighty, we've stabilized the situation slightly. Again, it's very much just breaking even, and if we were to go to war, I would be running very much in the red. Hopefully once we actually start to, again, as we annex our subjects, we get to steal their treasury, and hopefully as we steal their treasury, we'll be able to put that towards our loan repayments. But the opening 10 years, the Teutons have not been going perfectly. We'll have to also figure out how to get into Lithuania, as they have the Polish alliance, which is far from ideal. We're currently trying to butter up Hungary and possibly get a Bohemian alliance back. I would accept either. Even though we are going for a more military campaign, I'm still very compelled to go for the Deus Vault, the local infrastructure bonus of admin. So I think you have to. I would like to dip into the mill idea at some point, but it's just hard to say no to all of that sweet proximity speed, especially when we're going to be such an inland empire. Or we're not an empire yet. No. We're just spreading the good word. Banking has spawned in Genoa, in Venice. Professional armies has spawned in Lisbon. Oh God, so much dead. Losing stability, fantastic, exactly what I needed. Oh, there's been an Estonian revolt against Denmark. And we get an event to join. Alrighty lads, get up there and go. Hopefully my vassals are able to take care of that, although, oh gosh, and all of the forts turn on and my money starts to go down. And that is another loan. We have a limit of 100 ducats, so it's hovering, you know. Oh wow, that's interesting. So Denmark has just offered to sell us Livonia for 70 ducats that we really don't have. And you know what? What the heck? So let's go in for penny, in for pound. We're all in on debt. Denmark is out of the war. Hopefully we're able to get some money out of this Estonian rebellion. A whole 12 ducats. Maybe not. Maybe this was a mistake. Our professionals are getting smashed, but we've taken a 70 ducat loan. We only have 2 loans left. We are running 1 debt away from bankruptcy, so we will have to shutter essentially everything just to break even, and we're still going up in inflation. I'm not gonna lie, this run might just be cooked. This might just be a fantastic way of showing how not to play as the Teutonic Order. Quite tight. We'll take 13 ducats from Estonia, their entire province. We'll end up handing this all back to Livonia most likely. But away they go. Use that to pay off one of my loans, give me a little bit more breathing room. Again, nothing like 10% or 7% inflation. But you know, it's just what we gotta do. We have some greater Polish patriots that are fermenting. We really can't allow those to spawn because I believe Poland will join in with them if they do. And that would kill this already troubled run. Poland is currently getting hit with the Bohemian stick. So we're going to use this opportunity with Magdeburg to invade Lithuania and all of their subjects. This is a bit of a gamble, I'm not going to lie, but them not having Poland come to help is too big of a benefit to ignore. Again, we'll have Magdeburg come in, and we'll go in and continue our ever-righteous crusade. We are playing with a very tight budget of a single loan. I think that means we have to max mint, turn off our navy, and just hope. We need this war to be relatively quick for the Lithuanian treasury. Okay, this has led to Lithuania breaking their lines with the Poles, so even if we flood this, that should be enough, and hopefully a land connection up to Livonia. Alrighty then. This is it. This is all of our marbles in the basket, and if this goes sour, there is really not much I can do about it. We'll also only put our forts... Well, no, we won't even pay for the forts. That's how desperate we are for this to pan out. Hopefully we don't get rolled here. They do outnumber us by 5,000, which is a lot. Not ideal. We can already see the 5,000 troops coming down. Yeah, they have a better commander with better morale and better quality, and the terrain will be to their benefit. So we cannot take fights against them easily. We will miss that battle. 5th of May, 2nd of May. Yes, so we will miss that battle. We're doing our best to essentially dodge the Lithuanian forces. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The Lithuanians are coming to attack us here. We will make a stand, as this is essentially for the entire war. We are slow to the battle. They're destroying our left flank as nobody has gone to hold the left flank. Finally, people are getting there. The middle is already very damaged. We're still trading negatively. It's really up in the air at the moment, although it looks like our left flank is going to crumble. Luckily, Magdeburg is coming over, so we will have to retreat to fight another day. Not a fantastic opener, not the worst. I'm going to repay loans just to give myself some breathing room. We have a whole... Still only 15 ducats of debt to play with, which is really right on the line. The real benefit we have here is all of Lithuania's subjects are disloyal, while ours are loyal. So if we can beat their army and keep it down, hopefully that will keep their subjects disloyal. Hopefully with all of our allies behind us, we should really be able to give them a good one too. We outnumber them 2-1. It is bad terrain, but we are onto the battle on time. It looks like their left flank is going to buckle first. And as soon as that gives, we slam into the center. Their center is about to give as well, just in time to save our left flank. Fantastic. And that was finally a battle with some positive KD. Alrighty, they are about to crush my... Let's run north, see if we can't reinforce that battle. Even if we don't make it there on time, it looks like the Livonians might hold it. It's really up in the air there. But I think the Livonians got it. Yes, they did. Wow, impressive. I didn't expect them to pull through there. Poland is continuing to punch down into Bohemia. That's absolutely horrifying. That Poland could just turn north whenever they want and fold me into tiny pieces. Fantastic. So we'll just take a little bit less gold. We'll take the province of Samagotia, beat up, steal some of Lithuania's, maybe not core land, but secondary land. Nobody cares, again, because they're heathens. Get some war reps, get some provinces, get on out of here. Much better position than we were just 5 seconds ago. Big Teutonic Order. Unfortunately, we will not be able to hold on to all of this. Alrighty, and just like that, it's already time for the Black Death. And just like that, we've annexed our subject of Shelmno, and we make the vassals of Upbeat and Siulia. We cede both of them provinces. Upleet gets Ursanai. Solinia gets Benaki. Currently making 2 ducats a month. Ignore the fact that we're bleeding devotion. Oh, and the Black Death has made it to us. We're going to wait just a month tick to see if it's actually going to stick around or if it will leave nicely. There's nothing worse than enacting all of the defenses and then it just leaving and having to click it again later. No, it's spreading to our lands properly. So we are almost certainly, yep, okay, we're going to move the court into hiding, segregate the infected, and present scapegoats. And remember that we have 475,000 pop, so let's see how bad that gets after the Black Death. Fantastic event for us to get. We get free stab, free money, or free research. I normally would take the research, but in this case we're so strapped for cash I have to take the cash. It really is quite miserable having a country where most of the population is not your main pop. Everybody's trying to leave. I'm very concerned about the Greater Polish Patriots. If they launch a rebellion, I believe Poland will come and back it. And if Poland comes to back that rebellion, I will be very, very dead. The plague is absolutely ripping through us. Just abysmal. Hopefully it's passing over us a bit now. We had 475,000 at our peak. We're down to 335,000. Just to get out of having this Greater Polish Rebellion, we'll have to lay down another subject in, what province is that? In Shelmno. So we'll just say congratulations. Hopefully. Actually, maybe we can lay down another one in Tuchel. And what I would like to do with some of these subjects eventually is have them be forced into being Prussian culture instead of Greater Polish, and this one is Kashubian. I'd like to force them to be Prussian so that they can convert the ground. Luckily, though, that will dodge that civil war for us. Oh gosh, this is so painful. We're so broke. Portugal had more money than this. And that's Portugal. All of our provinces are just, not even our capital is cored. Okay, well, we might actually start by making our capital a core, because we are limited. We don't even technically have full control of our capital. That's fantastic. Just one thing I'm concerned of is having a large independence movement form, which is why I'm trying to not vassal spam everywhere, because the last thing I need is 1,000,001 people coming to liberate my vassals. And we have the chance here actually to make a whole lot of money with the Großschaffer of the order. We can either break the monopoly for a little bit of development, we can exploit it, so we'll lose some development and gain a fuckload of money, or maintain the status quo. I am going to exploit the institution because I believe that will finally get me out of debt, and I can actually start to recover a little bit proper. Oh, thank God. Literally, as we're playing as the monastic order of the Teutons, and now that we're 15 years into the game, maybe I can get my feet under me, start building my first buildings, like a tailor's guild in the capital. Hungary and Poland have fallen into a personal union together, so I'm not sure what to do with this information, but it's good to be aware of. You know, the entire time this campaign has just made me think that there might be a slight distance between like what these Crusader states want to achieve and the actual reality of running a massive religious war against a bunch of random tribesmen in Lithuania. The good news is that my subjects pay me quite well, what I would be getting out of this land anyway. Now, the only downside to all this is I cannot place a finger on exactly how I'm going to start to really make money. As you can see, some countries' economies since the start of the game, obviously there's the dip from the Black Death, but they generally, well, okay, let's not look at Lithuania, that's a bad example. They generally want to grow up. Ours has just been a straight line. Not ideal. The Golden Horde is currently getting decked on. They're involved in 16 wars. Yeah, I think the Golden Horde's days are numbered. We just got full on. That's fantastic. Yeah, being involved in 16 wars would do that to you. As much as I would love to be reinvesting my money back into the country, unfortunately, who knew having 10% inflation or 9% inflation would make building up your RGOs a little bit expensive. Even at max cost reduction, we're still straddling it being 36 ducats. Just as we're doing the parliament, we get promote urbanization, so of course we have to take that. The one really nice thing about the subjects I pop out due to them being forced to be bishoprics is even if they're set down on wrong religion provinces, wrong religion being relatively here, even if they're not set down in Catholic provinces, they start with the Catholic faith. So yes, they're very slowly integrating, but once they finish integrating, they will start instantly converting this stuff over to Catholicism, which will make it a little bit easier. Unfortunately, they still do take on the primary culture of the land, so I will have to force culture convert them over to Prussian. Eventually, I would like this all to end up as Prussian and possibly Baltic German. I'll probably accept Baltic German. Oh gosh, I just realized how bad this all sounds. Oh, it sounds like I want to take Germans to the east. Oh no. This in no way has connection to anything. Everything here is an act of fiction, and don't read too deep into it. But oh boy, are we going to export Prussian militarism out east into possibly Slavic cultured lands. Importantly, it's not about the culture that we're interested in. It's just about the Catholicism. We're here to dig out Eastern Orthodoxy and replace it with good old St. Peter's Cathedral and nothing else. Now that we're centralizing, we've almost finished integrating the province of Danzig. You can see the control of our country is doing okay. We're really struggling to push control out east, but again, everything here is relative to us. Wrong culture, because again, we're just accepting Prussian at the moment. We do tolerate Kashubian, but wrong culture, and out east, it's still also wrong religion. Alrighty, we just got our destroy enemy CB on Lithuania, so we're going to go right on in pretty well. Denmark won't come in, but we have our good buddy Magdeburg. That Magdeburg comes in. We should be able to take this fight very easily now compared to where we were at the start of the game 20 years ago. But all the same, never hurts to have a little help. Goals for this war are going to be taking all of the money like we always want to, as well as starting to take some more core land. We're going to eat around Vilnius. I don't know, something like this would be ambitious, but not impossible. As long as Poland doesn't join us coalition over this, I suppose, is my only limit. And again, the fight starts out, their flank is already crumbled. Yes, it has. And just like that, we're cutting them down. Their center's crumbled, and they're gone. We'll just be here to receive somebody who's locked in and to lead another 400 troops. And another 100 troops? 33 troops, close enough. Unfortunately, their vassals have flipped back to being loyal. Otherwise, I would go around full sieging them down and seeing if I could piece them out individually. Really makes you wonder how the start of the campaign was going so poorly with wins like this. I suppose. Alrighty, and just like that, we finished off the war. Lithuania's mostly fallen. They're currently getting invaded by Volhynia too, so I don't want to sit around to lose some of my occupations. We'll eat up essentially half of the country, and nobody will really care, and steal as much money as we can. Oh, look at that. This is peak Teuton borders. You may not like it, but this is what peak Teuton borders look like. Switching to Diplo traditions, my Diplo cap is going to rise up to about 5.5, which I'm still going to go over, but as long as I'm only one over, I can cope with some of the penalties. Alrighty, and just like that, we've made hot border war soup. We've released Kobrin, Boldasi, Sulwaki, Lida, Kaunas, and Brezhlau. I know that's wrong, and if you think that's wrong, you should put that in the comments. But Yeah, engagement bait. The only good thing about all that, obviously, they're all going to be the wrong primary culture, but they are all Catholic. And we're going to see how much we go over. Yeah, we're at 5.57, which is about where I'm okay with being. Oh, by the end of the Black Death, we lost 162,000 of our pops. Now, we are in the very unfortunate position of being split right in between three very powerful markets. We have the Lund market, the Riga market, and the Krakow market. All of our provinces have what would be considered an acceptable amount of market access, 60%, 55%, even on the fringes. Obviously, if you get into Lithuania, it gets a little bit worse. So I'm just trying to figure out if it's worth setting down something like a Danzig market. How much would that cost? Setting a market down in Danzig would be only 218, so we might set up a Danzig market. It would be kind of weird to have a Danzig market and a Riga market, but the way that we're currently set up, where we're cut three ways, is just, it's destroying our ability to build any meaningful trade capacity in any area, and it would put us in control of our export of the amber, which is a very lucrative trade if we can get our hands properly on it. I think I would eventually like to move my capital over to Königsberg. One, again, yes, just for the LARP. Two, because it is technically coastal. It's just two very small sea zones away for Danzig. So I'll have slightly worse control, but with any decent naval proximity. And I would like to have, obviously a competent amount of naval proximity here. Eventually, also would like to get some naval proximity because I believe we get control of Gotland through Sweden when the Vistula brothers spawn, whenever that is. You know what? Independence movements in Europa Universalis confuse me. Upyit, which is the one I just converted over to Prussian, has somehow managed to convince the Kingdom of France, the Kingdom of England, and the Kingdom of Croatia that I need to get turned to paste. I'm going to hope nothing happens. I'm going to start improving relations with France and England because I don't want to get turned to paste. It's just odd because if vassal spam is going to be a core part of the gameplay loop, and using vassals to convert and culture convert the land is going to be a core part of the gameplay, then they also need to not be able to do these weird things where all of a sudden England and France are looming like the sword of Damocles over your head, Oh, and look at that. We also have Rome being eaten by Naples already. Fantastic. Not even 25 years into the game. And also Portugal is getting mauled by Castile. Alrighty. And the Western Schism has just spawned as well. So we're going to be using this to make big bucks. Bohemia and Halleck are getting hit with the Polish hammer. That's exactly what I'm worried about having happen to me, and why I'm currently incurring favors with the Poles, or improving relations with the Poles, because I don't want to experience that, because there's very little I can do against 12,000 men, even with all of my vassals. Seeing how painful it is having Marienburg not even be a town, we're given the choice between either upgrading it to a town ourselves, which would be 350 ducats, or possibly moving it over to Danzig or Königsberg. Looking at the cost of moving the capital on over to Königsberg, it would be 190, and Danzig, it would be 200. Danzig at the moment would probably be the better one. Just, it's a very good port. It's our main economic hub. It's everything we really care about at the moment. But Königsberg, it'll help us push inland control a bit better if we set up here. We'll still get really good control to Danzig through naval proximity. So I think it's really not a question. We'll just move on over to Königsberg once we get 100 more ducats. Fabricate CB on Novogorodosk. Get a claim over there. Hit them with the Parliament approved claims on province. And away we go. Oh, of course, we'll also demand support from a candidate. I'm sorry, why does the Western Schism have Naples now? Why are we doing Naples? How much does Naples pay? Naples is not going to pay as much as France does. Oh. Okay, well, Naples will tell me to go fuck myself, and the Pope will give me $10. Well, I guess I'll take the guy that'll give me $10. This is stupid. How the heck did Naples end up in charge of the Western Schism? Now, what is nice here about invading these, oh, I'm sorry, when did Volhynia get involved in this? Oh, and how many men can Volhynia field? Only 1,000? Okay, well, we can still make this work just fine then. The nice thing about fighting in this area is there's absolutely no forts to oppose you, so I can just walk in and beat the piss out of them all relatively easily. Alright, and we'll just catch the Lithuanian levies right there and pretty well just run them over. Just like that, and they're gone. The Teutonic Order possesses many resources and natural resources, yet very significant sought after is amber. This is why the Order has placed it under the ducal jurisdiction and will continue to treat it as a prize monopoly. However, such protectionism risks angering the burghers. We can either tell the burghers to suck it up, where we get a bunch of local crown power. We could give it over to the burghers, which would give them a bunch of local power. Or we could give it to the commoners, which would give the commoners a bunch of local power. We will, of course, keep it for ourselves, as we are a kind and just God. We'll take everything from Slutsk and all of their money. For example, Pinsk here is about to get full annexed as well. 1, 2, 3. Full annex. Thank you. Seize their capital. Fantastic. State of Volhynia, thank you very much for participating. Please don't come back. Of course, we're taking all of this money so that we can move our capital over to Königsberg. Lithuania, I will take all of your land proper. Thank you very much. Oh, look at that wonderful, wonderful border guard. And last but not least, to Novgorod will take all of their land as well. That we are staring down probably a coalition, but I'm sure it'll be fine. How bad is my antagonism? It's only most of the Russian states I think will be okay. Novgorod's a paper tiger. Kiev I would rather not fight, I'm not going to lie, but that's why we're improving relations with them. They do have minus 300 antagonism with me, seriously? No, it's only 90. Okay. Smolensk as well has a couple thousand troops I'd rather not fight, but the rest of them are fielding in the 100, which means my vassals can take them. We'll put down the lady here, Seed Province of Severe, and Seed Province of Rostova, Slutsk. One here. So we'll take Vywaska, we will cede you the province of Slonin, we'll take Slutsk, we'll cede you the province of Keltsk, we'll take Turov, which won't get confused with Turov, and we'll cede you the province of Pinsk. And just like that, more of the east is looking a beautiful, beautiful shade of gray. The reason that we're keeping this province for ourselves is to create the casus belli of cleanse heresy on Novgorod. We need to border Novgorod, so we're also going to start building a spy network against Novgorod. Our first goal will be to seize the coastline from the heathens. As we've pretty comfortably completed my first goal of destroying the removing threat, so the next step is on pushing back Orthodoxy and spreading the Catholic faith. Alrighty, let's get that alliance with Poland. Fantastic. Now with Poland, we are a little bit over Diplo cap, huh? We can probably move away from our alliance with Magdeburg, but even without that alliance, we're still going to be slightly over our limit. Alrighty, first thing we're going to do here is move our capital from Marienburg over to Königsberg proper now. It's going to take a bit, but it'll be for the better. Then we just got this customer, Johann von Postlig, who either we can pay 35 ducats to get some cultural influence, or we can lose some prestige. So considering we need the influence quite bad to do all of the conversions, and to assimilate some of the subjects. We'll take him up on that. Hopefully, let's see, how is our coring going? Quite well. Single loan, that does suck. It is going to take quite a while to, how do I say, to correct people's views respectfully. But we are starting to stack just the right things. You know, we have expulsion of heathens. The spiritualism is a massive negative. Literacy is kept growing. German market language, making the culture the enemy. And we do have growing cultural influence. So it'll only get faster and faster. Alright, fantastic. We just gained the attack threatening rival CB on Novgorod. So we'll just call on our good friend Denmark. Walk in there and kick ass. So while this is all going on, I figured I may as well flip over one of my smaller subjects to Prussian to see what happens, right? So I do, and you can see that I did, because Bishop of Canus, disloyal subject, liberty desired from events, that was me enforcing Prussian on him. And I go and look over just 2 months later, monthly assimilation in Canus. Oh, he's back to flipping the primary culture away from Prussian. How did that happen? Oh, well, it turns out he immediately... No, he's just choosing to ignore it. That's worse. So it's like that he had this set up beforehand and is choosing not to change it. I mean, like down here in Suwaki, I also set it to go. You can see again, he's very unloyal. And they're doing the same thing here. So I don't know what the fuck is up with subjects. Obviously, this is quite a subject-heavy playthrough. I'm not just doing this for shits and giggles. But I really wish that they would convert to the culture. Otherwise, it's going to be quite tiresome. Just unlock the Inquisition law, and for quite obvious reasons, we're probably going to be doing this on local courts, just to make sure that we get everybody converted to our standards. The Prussian standard. Oh god, no, I'm doing it again. Alrighty, and just like how I said, I would mention if something interesting happened. Nothing interesting happened. We're going to take war reps, seize Pskov and a province off of them, and 80 ducats. Alrighty, so we're going to release the historical subject, the Republic of Pskov, as well as concede to the Republic of Pskov Podilska. Now, you might wonder, why am I willing to give Pskov right away? It's because when I re-release them, they're forced to be a bishopric, so they're forced to be Catholic, so they can start Christianizing the regions there. Because again, this is all Orthodoxy, trying to push into the Orthodoxy land. It's just a little bonus that they start with this land cord. They'll be able to get some core and control up there, and they start as Novgorodian. It's so nice having vassals to do the swarming for you. I'm sure that they're going to fall off like a brick when levies fall off, but it's so nice just watching them go and paint the map in my name. So, as you can see, our aggressive conversion efforts have been having quite a benefit. Most of what was once removing is getting converted on over. And wait a second. Has Lithuania finally... Oh my gosh. Lithuania has decided to come to light and become a Christian kingdom. We are so thankful. That doesn't mean that you won't have to pay for your past sins, but glad you saw the light. It'll make converting it easier. Otherwise, though, we're slowly starting to convert into the Russian Orthodoxy lands already, and just like that, we're going to set down our own market in Danzig now. Whether or not it's the optimal thing to do, it's just so annoying having your country split between 3 markets like this. It's impossible to control the building good prices consistently, because my population isn't split, like isn't all nicely packed into one market. It's split almost exactly on the three borders. So it'll be easier if I just found a market in Danzig, even if it's not perfect. Fantastic, just like that. Perfect. Nice, strong Danzig market. Sweden just had the Victual Brothers event and offered us a war goal on them. So I'm going to launch with the Annex war goal on them and hope that the AI does it while I actually build up a proper fleet. We'll march the boys on in. Hopefully block the mercenaries from being hired. Fantastic. Immediately we're going to run away. Split the professionals. Send the professionals down to go and kill their rabble. And they're raising a navy. Interesting call. So we are probably going to leave the professionals to starve on the island. And that is a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Simply, we're just going to conquer this and keep it for ourselves. I think I just did something very stupid. You see, I had a parliament come to pass, and I was looking through, and I chose to switch from a monastic order to a clerical state for the tax efficiency as opposed to the fortification maintenance. I thought it would scale better. However, something I don't think it mentioned is that as a monastic order, you don't get access to all of the Teutons' international buildings that give you free manpower, because now you can see instead of being at 5,000, we're limited to about 270. Nowhere here did it say that by switching over I would lose that. Nowhere did it mention that it would affect that. And I think it to switch back would be more expensive now, because I'd have to rebuild all of those orders either way, and I am close to getting access to armories. However, that's just something to keep in mind if you are playing as a theocratic order, that you very much can lose access to all of your funny things. There's nothing else that I've changed since then, so hopefully that's what it is. But just be aware of that. Also, that seems very funny that our Hochmeister is a sinner. Alrighty, and as you can see by my big gross, only the Teutons, no longer the Teutonic Order name here, we just finished up another war with Lithuania. We're just one more war left. Lithuania's been reduced just to their capital province of Vilnius and Baltics. I was hoping to finish it up, but a minor misclick means that we'll have to wait for one more. Alrighty, and just like that, the last of the Visby Brotherhood has fallen. So we are going to full annex them, and then we're going to try and release... Pardon? No, that was the last war. This one Well, that's a fun bug. So we're going to try and release the Visby Brotherhood as a historical sub. Fantastic. So we still do have the Victual Brothers, except now they are a bishopric. Fantastic, looking much prettier now. Most of the, what I would call Belarus. Nope, that's the wrong thing. Most of Ruthenia that Lithuania has controlled is coming into our lands under the righteous Catholic sons. And we are winning it back inch by inch. In fact, there is now no longer a single remove-in tag on the map, as far as I'm aware. Unless, are you... Oh, I'm sorry. The final one location minor for remove-in. The location of Bobr, with a entire 2,175 pops to your name. Well, we'll have to put that out of its misery. We'll have to put that out of its misery very shortly. Alrighty, and we just got the destroy enemy CB on Trezek, so we're gonna pop in Steel Warsaw, which at this point is essentially still a tiny little shitty village. And if we're lucky, we'll also be able to vassalize his ally. Listen, I would love to try and pronounce that, but it's Polish. So there's too many consonants, and a Z isn't supposed to be there. Destroy enemy. Go get them, my vassal horde. Alrighty, fantastic. We'll take both of these guys. Plenty of AE to go with it, but most of it is being burnt on the Orthodox countries. These are both Catholic kingdoms, but shh, we don't have to tell the Pope. We're also about to finish annexing our vassal of Saoli. Perfect. You know, with Poland getting rolled over by Bohemia as it is, it's making me think I could be really opportunistic and pop in with no CB, especially if Denmark's willing to back me up. It would be a bit of stability, not gonna lie, but just swing in there, steal some money, steal some war reps. Is it a bad idea? Yeah, especially because they have the Kingdom of Hungary backing them too, but oh, what the hell, let's go for it. No CB is the best CB, especially with Denmark at our back. Alrighty, well, you know what they say. I don't know what they say, but here we go. You know, it's crazy to me to think that it's God's will for us to come and burn down Krakow, but, you know, it is what it is. If God wills it, we have to do it, you know? Sucks to be Polish. Alrighty, we just stole two separate pieces out here on Western Bohemia and Blez, and we're just going to steal these provinces here. A little bit of money and some monthly war reps from Poland, and just sneak on out the same way we came in. Nothing really interesting happened that war. Poland was already beaten down by Bohemia, so we're just sweeping in to steal a couple little bits. You know, really being a vulture more so than any actual honor. Alrighty, just passing time here as we march on forward. Just noticed that England had an entire earldom of Leicestershire cut out of its head. I don't know how long that's been there. All of their provinces are integrated though, and they are just English primary culture, so that's so disgusting. As well as there's this random one location minor, the earldom of Devondale, and somehow Scotland has ended up eating Durham. Theodoro has almost taken over the entire Crimean Peninsula. Bohemia just wrapped up their war with Poland and spat out two massive colonies, or two massive countries, the county of Pizdry and the county of CRUSADERS. So we're probably going to do our best to take advantage of this. Oh, I really can't afford another no CB war, so I'm going to figure out how to eat them while we're also in the middle of all this. Just finished annexing our subject of Chelmno. Going to start annexing Tushola next. Also going to convert these guys over to Prussian proper because, yeah, their capital is still Greater Polish and Polesian. Parliament CB and invade Siraz. I just declared Pizdry a rival, and we'll get a conquer rival CB on them. Alrighty, and just like that, we're into the war. Let's go and get ourselves some free Polish land. Oh, we're also at war with... Oh, you're independent. Alrighty then, fantastic. We'll also take two for the price of one. Of course, we'll take Iron Claw in full. And also all of Siraz. Make sure the coalition doesn't get too out of hand. We are looking at some pretty big numbers. Anybody in the HRE? Bulgask, yes, but nobody else. We're probably going to have to chill out for a minute. Now again, we are looking at a decently sized coalition. My response to this is simply to, and just like that, we're doing some A-grade border corps. We'll try and pick up Pizdry, but again, with a coalition like this looming, I'd rather not push it. Also, I know I don't show the control map off that often, but just look at what we're doing. It's all thanks to those sweet, sweet rivers that we have right by Königsberg. As well as, I don't know what river this is, but as well as the river that is going right by Danzig. It's letting us push deeper in. That's going to let us start to annex some of these newer subjects that we have, as well as the Livonian Order actually is finished eating up all of their subjects, so we could probably think about annexing them as well, though that's going to be a time-intensive procedure. We're also going to drop another town down in Brandenburg, the province. And again, this is just, the goal is to urbanize the coastline, and then we'll start looking about pushing towns deeper in. The real question is going to be where we're going to drop our our local governor. The only problem is we're going to need a city to drop them in, and that's going to be really hard to find in this area besides Riga up on the coast. I suppose if we really wanted to, we might be able to get away with it in Novgorod. Or if we want to play a bit closer to Chest Vilnius, but I think that's a little too close. So I'm leaning towards Novgorod, especially because that'll let us get control into. Of course, I'm saying I would like to take this city as a capital before I even conquer it. Maybe Novgorod or something like Smolensk would also be good. Fantastic, and we just annexed the last of our starting well, again, besides the Livonian Order of Tuchola. So we finally are back to being at least Teutons proper. Now, it is a shame, this is my fault for letting the Livonians get so large, I suppose, but they, in theory, if we were to annex them, they would take roughly 230 years due to having a city, 4 towns, 50 rural settlements. They do have a much stronger cultural influence than us, so we should be able to get this down. I'm not going to bother annexing them right now. I'll have to turn that off after the... But that just goes to show that you really do want to keep a limit on how big you let your subjects get. 2 tiles or 2 states or 2 provinces, however you want to call it, is certainly the biggest you want to let them get. Some of them out here, I made 3 just because it was easier, and I'm going to be paying for that in the long run. I'm just so limited with only 2 cabinet members at the moment and so much land that I need to convert over to being Prussian, as all of the released subjects are doing a fantastic job of making everything glorious Catholic, although we do have some terrible heretics spawning in Prague. Another fantastic example of EU5 events doing something but nothing meaningful. We can either take the historical event, which would give our nobles power and a push towards aristocracy, or simply take a small slap on the wrist by pissing the nobles off. I imagine also with the text here saying that the nobles of this league might be a Polish successionist movement. There's just no way that this ends well, so I almost certainly want to just shut this down early. Even if there is like a secret positive to letting that run out, as a player, like without the meta knowledge and looking through the code, looking through the wiki, how am I supposed to know that? So why am I going to let the AI get away with anything funny, is at least my thoughts on that. Alrighty, and we're just going to go in now on Lithuania to finally finish off the last remnants of our old rival. Call up the troops, and this is a decently sized war. Well, Novgorod's involved as well, but if anything interesting happens, I'll key you in. Ooh, this is a very interesting event, so I can pay up. I will end up taking 2 loans for that for 15 research progress. That's just too good, though. Absolutely abysmal. The last of our armed forces just got eaten alive. Hopefully the AI is able to carry the rest of this war in, as we're pretty well tapped out for the remainder. We'll just white piece out Kharkiv. And now it's just a matter of watching the AI figure out how to siege down 2 forts. Still finishing up that Lithuania war. The AI couldn't figure out how to siege down a fort, so I went and marched over with my troops. All right, finally, after far too long, we've taken the city of the town of Vilnius. We will finally put our old enemy Lithuania into the grave, take the 20 ducats he has to his name, and almost 100 years later, wish them goodbye. And just like that, well, it's been done. We've slain the dragon that we've been hunting for almost 100 years. The next step is to look just a bit further east. And we just finished annexing our vassal of Kanos. Again, none of this has been properly Prussianified. Not gonna cry about it. One of those vassals that you switch them over and then they immediately switch back to their original culture. We'll just have to crucify the area ourselves. And speaking of crucifying areas, if you look at as we look at the culture map, Prussian is doing so much better than it was at the start of the game. We barely had any of this under control. I mean, even look at the integration map; it's properly ours. And again, the goal is to just keep going east. Listen, I get that this is cultural and stuff, but I refuse to believe that that's a real name. I think that they just put EISK in like a random number generator and that shot out because I could not begin. You know what? No, this is going to grace you all. So here's my attempt at this. Ice is Kesas, and I refuse to believe that that is an actual name. Again, I don't care if it makes me take on a little bit of debt. 15 research points for only 200 ducats is a fucking steal. 15 research points is essentially a year, a little bit less than a year of my value. Alrighty, so we just got to destroy enemy CB on Novgorod, and Kiev is distracted invading Golden Horde, so we're just going to pop in, beat them over the head, and get back out. So, in we go. Yes, the Victual Brothers somehow pulled off a naval invasion all the way. How did you get up there that fast? That's insane. Well, either way, you're starving to death in essentially Arctic waste. Oh, and a fun little EU5ism. My troops are entirely stuck on the fort, starving to death. So we just have to hope that the AI eventually will be able to liberate us. I think if they were to siege down Gudovo, we would be free, but we'll see if they're able to figure that out. Now, we're actually going to be quite greedy with this war and eat up a massive chunk of Novgorod here. Essentially, most of their valuable land, anything that has acceptable population density, they have a little bit more towards like the Moscow area right here. And trying our best to stay out of the Arctic climate. The highlights being taking over the Novgorod market. I think I'm actually... Oh, I'm sorry. Almost missed that, actually. We're going to make sure we take the Novgorod market. I think I'm actually going to keep a lot of this land for myself. Mostly because my vassals are getting uppity. We'll also be able to set down a local governor up here, and I believe we'll be able to push some decent control from Novgorod. Pretty large amount of AE. Nobody I'm particularly concerned of. It's all just Russian princedoms. Nobody I won't be able to talk down. And with that, we take a full 100 war score on the Novgorodians. Of course, we will be dissolving the heathen patriarchate seat of Novgorod. Technically the technically the third, but I would say the second market under our control. We are truly becoming a monster of the Baltic. So it's just come to my attention that I can't set down a local governor in Novgorod because I don't, even though I do have a road connection from Novgorod going down, it comes down around through the Belarusian area and then into Königsberg. I don't technically have a direct land connection through my land. So to do a wonderfully disgusting thing, I'm going to have to annex Breslau, build roads all through their land, and then make sure I have roads all through my land to have a direct road connection to Novgorod through Teutonic Order. So forgive the border war crimes I'm about to commit. I don't know how I managed this. I had a revolter tag pop out here for the Mazovians, and I thought I fully annexed them and took their money, but apparently I let them walk away with just the province. So I'm going to let them hold on to that for the second, mostly because this is Iron Man and I can't reload. And I will be back for that. Though I won the war, I got their money. I think possibly by clicking war reps I broke it. We've also had a minor uprising in our Russian lands. It's almost like getting invaded and overruled about personal policy is unpleasant to some people. I'll tell you when I figure out how I feel about that, but we're just going to do our best to put it down with an iron fist. Alrighty, and just as it was, everybody surrendered and we go back to slowly building the East German superhighway to Novgorod. And of course we get to have my favorite event for the third time. I'm still always going to take the debt in exchange for research points. Alrighty, and we're going to set down our local governor now in Novgorod, that we have a very long and awkward shaped country. Obviously we're going to have a terrible time pushing any form of control, and I'm aware this looks awful. No, that's it. This just looks awful. I'm a big fucking banana shaped twice over. I really just want to leave this on the screen so you can all appreciate that just for a moment, though. Alrighty, and with our local governor down, hopefully we can see that we can get up to 65 max control out in Novgorod. Now, it's going to still be very limited because this is all considered conquered land still. But we'll do our best to finally actually get some value out of this land and hopefully stop having constant rebellions as well. There is very little more satisfying than watching your control slowly ooze out, especially like as the burghers here are going around building more roads for me. I see the control push through Novgorod in spite of the fact this is all conquered land. It's just so satisfying to watch that will of the government get pushed further and further on unsuspecting people. While we do our best to dissolve the social contract and turn them into nothing but taxpayers. Ah, modernity. Alrighty, a lot of things just happened there. We got our Destroy Enemy CB on Rawa, so we can finally go and take down and take back what's rightfully ours. We have the Parliament cabinet seat, new cabinet seat. Fantastic. We can start, doing some culture conversion while also coring up half of Russia. And we just got to the Age of Discovery. So I'm going to pick what direction I want to be going forward in the Age of Discovery, and then we're going to be putting a pin into it, and then we'll do a recap on what's happened. Now, as always, after just reading through the three of the admin, Diplo, and Mill focuses here, admin really does speak to me. I really like the preaching mission for the assimilation speed and the missionary school for the just base pop conversion. Diplo really doesn't have anything for it, right? It's all a lot of colonial stuff, which we're not here for that. Now, military is interesting, but it's just a lot of reduced costs on getting people or some ship bonuses. And I'm very much not a naval power. We're going full long into Russia. So I think we're going to have to go admin. Now, for a brief recap of what we've done, we started this game with a massive removing threat on our doorstep. We've destroyed, there's no removing tag left on the map. We've destroyed Lithuania completely and all of their vassals. We've taken the northern half of Poland, capturing the, at the moment, fishing village of Warsaw. Prizdy's been released. And perhaps a bit more impressively, we've broken into Russia proper, taking over the market of Novgorod. We have yet to properly start converting over the heretics of the Orthodox Church. When it comes to our culture map mode, Prussian is doing so much better than it was at the start, and we've accepted Novgorodian, though I do believe that will change eventually. My goals looking forward, I want to take over the Russia region in full, at least. That's the ambition, anyway. As well as eliminate the false church. Perhaps we won't chase it down into the Balkans, but in Anatolia. But I would at least like to push the false church out of the out of Eastern Europe and bring back into Catholicism. Hopefully, as we move into the Age of Discovery, we don't have to worry about any more weeds in the garden popping up behind our back. But hey, I'm sure the Western Church, since the schism has closed, the Catholic Church is one and indivisible, and there's no question about it. Either way, if you manage to stay to the end, thank you very much. I hope that you have yourself a fantastic day. If you can, please click like, subscribe, leave a comment. It means a lot to me. The comments I received on my Portugal video encouraged me to keep it going and to do this video. If you have a run idea, or if you have something funny and want to see me suffer, throw it out there. If you just want to say screw you, throw it in the comments too, because hey, it's engagement bait anyway. You have yourself a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.